American infrastructure is falling apart despite trillions in federal spending. Where did it all go? There cannot possibly be that many racist overpasses to waste money on. The catastrophic FEMA failures of recent weeks are, of course, just the beginning. According to a recent article from the Rutherford Institute, a water main breaks every 2 minutes somewhere in the U.S., leading to contaminated drinking supplies and boil water notices. 1 in 3 bridges in the country, so 42,000 bridges, are in need of repair, endangering hundreds of millions of commuters and anybody who lives remotely near a train line. By one estimate, 300 million Americans could face power outages in the coming years as our creaking power grid falls apart. What's galling, of course, is that our federal government pours trillions into infrastructure. In fact, one of Joe Biden's first bills was the so-called bipartisan infrastructure law that was, in theory, going to plow $1.2 trillion to revitalize American infrastructure. Alas, the bill included no independent oversight of where the money went, meaning it went to unions and crony green boondoggles. A big chunk went to subsidize New York's money-losing subway. A cool $42 billion went to rural internet that 3 years later hasn't connected a single person, partly because they excluded Elon Musk out of spite. And, of course, rebuilding those racist overpasses. I mean, with $1.2 trillion, there should not be a crumbling bridge or crumbling dam in America. But the reality is the more they spend, it seems the worse stuff gets. This is true at the state level as well. So U.S. News ranks the smoothest roads in the country. The top 5 states include Alabama, Indiana, and Idaho, which are all among the lowest spending states. The worst 5 roads include Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, which are all among the highest spending states. Just looking at big states, Florida has the best roads for a big state, while New York has the worst. Yet Florida spends literally half what New York does per capita, yes, even with the hurricanes. Of course, it's not just roads. Look at public services in a high-tax city like San Francisco versus a low-tax city like Jacksonville, Florida. Or look at education spending in a high-spending district like Detroit or a low-spending district like Boise. Spot the problem: the more government takes, the more it spends, the worse it gets. So why might this be? Well, walk it through. So first you hike taxes, so there's extra money beyond the police, firemen, and potholes. So they use the extra money for some woke outreach, LGBT outreach, let's say, and they hire a bunch of political activists to run it. These people, being fanatics, expand their empire, hire their friends, they grow like a cancer. The pothole guys never had a chance. They come to work, fix the potholes, and go home. Fast forward a few years, and the Department of Human Flourishing has not only soaked up all the new money, they took the pothole money as well. By the time you're done, you've got a government that costs 3 times as much, yet it spends 3 times less on the potholes. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Happily, the solution is very simple. Oversight for federal spending, and for the states, just cut the budget. Starve the beast, as Ronald Reagan put it. Because in a growing budget, the activists always win. But in a shrinking budget, it concentrates the minds. You get a glorious cage fight between the activists and the potholes. When the potholes are bigger than the cars, the activists will be the first to go. A new episode of the podcast just dropped. Check it out at petersanos.com or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.